Hi, I was working with a principal last week and we were discussing how do you develop growth in the performance of your teachers over the course of the year. And as we explored that question, we talked about how easy it is for you to go through the year and to do a lot of things that need to be done and things that seem to be putting you in that place, but perhaps not get the performance that you're after. So we talked about how these 30-day challenges that people do, maybe it's the ALS 30-day challenge, the ICE challenge, maybe it's something for self-improvement that you've done, walking for 30 days, doing something in terms of self-help improvement. Those things are very prominent, and we started talking about, well why? Because if people are doing that a lot, there's probably a reason behind it. As I mentioned in this week's Principal Matters newsletter, I was reading an article in Psychology Today about change, and it was from a therapist who said that the two biggest blocking points for her patients were lack of motivation to make change. And then the second one, which I think really comes in with us in school, is that the task seems overwhelming. When I think about that, and I think about how many new teachers that we have across our schools now, new to education, new to the profession, freshly minted from colleges of ed, but a lot of new out there. Here's what I truly think is that the job of principal and assistant principal has yet again got to change, because we're getting fewer and fewer people who can just walk in the room with factory settings and they know how to do everything. We're getting wonderful, caring people, but some of the background knowledge that we typically have had in the past of teachers, well, it may not be there. So how do you get that? One thing that is true, we can't do what we've done in the past to address the current situation, because the current situation is different. One thing that I've encouraged people that I work with, and I encourage you as a listener to this, focus is the pathway to performance. Aesop's fable, he who tries to catch two rabbits catches none. If you give somebody too many things to do, then they may do none of them well, in great part because they don't have the bandwidth to be able to do it, but also that volume of information, this volume of things, they may just overwhelm them. So what if we could slice things up into smaller pieces? When I think about the school year, it's a little overwhelming just to begin with. 180 school days. I always thought it was important to think about the school year not as just one big chunk, but dividing it into pieces. I think there are certain rhythms and flows to the school year, and when you can divide them up into pieces, it's easier. And sure, we have 9-week periods that we do for grades, but what about inside of that? What if we think about having these times that we work with teachers and that we teach our teachers to work with students in the same format, that they have a goal, they have clarity, they know what we're working on. We talk about it every day. I don't think it's enough to go in and observe a teacher and to say, you need to do better with classroom management. They may not know what that means. And even if we tell them, they may not be able yet to apply that to the work that they're doing. It is consistent effort over a long period of time that's going to bring about positive change. We're often in a hurry, and we're hopeful that people can do this with limited resources dedicated to them. But I don't know that that's going to be the case as we move forward and we have people who perhaps have less training than teachers like them 10, 20 years ago. So what do you do? Breaking it down can help you. And maybe you've got multiple teachers who need to work on the same thing and you can network them together. Maybe it is classroom management. Maybe it's lesson plannings. And it's not like we let everything else go. But until you put a focus on something, it may be so overwhelming that they can't even get started. Then the motivation becomes that second problem. And again, it begins to dip down, then we really do have a problem. We have new days facing us as school leaders, and we have to have new strategies to be able to get the work done. And I wish you the best in this work. We'll continue to provide resources for you here at The Principal Matters. Thanks so much for watching.